Okay folks, final thing we're going to look at is a little bit of surface area. Now again, this is something that we've been working on in class a little bit, some of us, but something that probably needs a little bit more revision, and that's why we're choosing to go over it again this week, both in school and at home. So what we have here is a cuboid, and we're only in second year going to look at surface area of a cuboid together, and obviously a cube because it works in the same way. Now, the surface area is the amount of paper it would take to make this cuboid, or the amount of paint it would take to cover it in paint, or something like that. It's the best way to describe it, folks, is if you unfolded the cuboid, how much space does it take up? So think back to when you've built nets, maybe you've done it with your maths teacher recently, maybe you did it in primary school. It's that shape of paper, that area of paper that you're making it out of. Now, I think the easiest way to do these questions at this stage is actually to do what we've just talked about, so to draw the net. Now, I know sometimes we look at drawing it accurately, and some of you might have maybe done a little bit in that in class already, but what we're going to do is I'm going to start with this back rectangle here. Okay, so the one that's right at the very back. So we're going to draw that first, and we're not going to draw it accurately. We're just going to give ourselves a little sketch. And if we think about it, that rectangle is 5 centimetres long and it's 2 centimetres wide, or 2 centimetres high. Now, if we were unfolding this piece of paper, what we would have next is we would have this one on the bottom. Okay, and we can hopefully see by the green kind of lines that I've drawn that that one's going to be 5 by 3. So it stays that same 5 width, but this time it's going to be 3 centimetres long. So it's a different size of rectangle. It's 5 by 3 instead of 5 by 2. Now, if we go back, we're now drawing the front one. That would come next if we were unfolding it. So this front bit here. Okay, so I'm going to draw that, and again that's 5 by 2. So you might notice that we're kind of creating a little bit of a pattern here. Okay, 5 centimetres by 2 centimetres. And then, finally, we're going to draw the top bit. Well, not finally, but finally for this wee bit, folks. We're going to draw the top bit, which again is going to be 5 by 3. So I'm drawing that in green. Okay, so the 2 green rectangles, and there's 2 kind of pinky red rectangles. Okay, but we're still missing a bit. If you think about it, a cuboid's got 6 faces. At the moment, we've only got 4 rectangles. What we're missing, folks, and let's pick a slightly different colour for this, it's going to stand out. Let's go for this bright purple bit. Okay, so the 2 bits at the end here, okay, this one here and this one here, they're kind of, I think about them as the sides of the cuboid here. They are going to go at the edges to kind of create that kind of T shape or the cross shape. Now you can put them wherever you like. I, out of habit more than anything, guys, kind of tend to put them here. So here and here. And we know that this length here is 3 centimetres. So that length there is going to be 2 centimetres. Now, there's an awful lot of information in this little bit of my picture, so I'm going to write it on the other side. So these are both 3 centimetres by 2 centimetres. So hopefully you can see from that diagram that we've got 3 different types of rectangle. We've got rectangles that are 5 centimetres by 2 centimetres. We're going to call them rectangle 1. We've got rectangles that are 5 centimetres by 3 centimetres. We're going to call them rectangle 2. And we've got rectangles that are 2 centimetres by 3 centimetres, and we're going to call them rectangle 3. Or if you like, rectangle 1 is the front and back of the cuboid. Rectangle 2 is the top and bottom of the cuboid, and rectangle 3 is the sides of the cuboid. That's sometimes another way to think about it. Okay, so what we're now doing, remember we're working at an area, so it's going to be in square centimetres. I know we're used to doing cubic centimetres when we've got a 3D shape, but we've flattened it out, so we're doing an area. So the area of rectangle 1, and I'm going to put a little 1 beside it, still using our length times breadth formula, so you can probably see why we did a little bit of revision of area of rectangle earlier on in the work that we've set you for this week. And then length times breadth is going to be 5 times 2, which is going to be 10 square centimetres. So a nice easy calculation, folks. But remember, it's not about the easiness of the calculations, it's about getting all the working written out. And there's an awful lot of it here. Okay, next one, rectangles 2. So length times breadth, this time these rectangles, remember, are 5 times 3, which is 15 square centimetres. And finally, rectangle 3, the sides, if you prefer thinking about it that way. Okay, length times breadth, which is going to be 3 times 2, and I just need to make sure we've got a little bit more space on the screen here, which is going to give me 6 square centimetres. Now, we are not finished. Okay, let's go back and think about this. We had 2 rectangle 1s, we had 2 rectangle 2s, and we had 2 rectangle 3s. So, again, like when we've done some other work recently, if you've already done the compound volume stuff that we've set, then you'll have thought about this. You might not have done that yet, depending on what order you're choosing to do things. But we need to get the total surface area. Okay, so we said we've got 2 rectangle 1s, so that's 2 times 10. We've got 2 rectangle 2s, so that's 2 times 15. And we've got 2 rectangle 3s, which is 2 times 6. So 2 times 10 is 20, 2 times 15 is 30, and 2 times 6 is 12. And we add all that together. 20 and 30 is 50, add 12 is going to be 62 square centimetres. Remember, square centimetres because it's an area. Okay, so that's how to tackle the surface area. So the worksheet that you've got that's working out the volume of the cuboids, again, it's asking you to work out the surface area of them all. Now, some of the things on that worksheet are actually cubes. So let's just do a little cube example to finish, just to show you that that one might be a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to just draw a very quick cube. Not very accurate, but you've got the right idea. Now, what we discovered in my class when we were looking at this was we found it easier to do this if we had those dotted lines to help us see the kind of lines that we couldn't see. Okay, that seemed to make things a little bit easier. And let's say that the side of this cube is 5 centimetres. And remember, what that means is that all the sides of the cube are 5 centimetres. Now, if we unfold this, you're maybe a wee bit happier with this one about drawing the net of a cube. But remember, a cube is made up of 6 squares that are all the same size. So actually, this is probably easier to draw. It takes the same kind of form as the cuboid. So I tend to always draw that cross-shaped one. There are other options, remember, and I know a lot of you have already looked at that in class. But each of these is the same shape. They are all the same square. And if you think about it, they're all a square that's 5 centimetres by 5 centimetres. So actually, if we work out the area of that square, which is going to be length times breadth, which is 5 times 5, which is 25 square centimetres, then to get the total surface area, we just need to do 6 of them. So it's a wee bit of a quicker calculation. That's why I wanted to show you this, just to make sure you spot that. Now, 6 25s. 4 25s are 100, so 2 25s are 50, so it's going to be 150. And remember, if you need a calculator for that, then please just use one for this, because we're not as worried about being able to do it without a calculator, although you should be able to. Remember, you can write a wee chimney sum if you can't do it in your head. Okay, but it's more about making sure you know how to work out the surface area. As before, folks, if you come across any questions on that worksheet that you're not sure about, get in touch with me and I can make you up a wee video to help explain it. Okay, so you've got a worksheet on working out the volume and the surface area of a whole page of cubes and cuboids. And I would say you should be working through that and get at least half of them done. If you get half of them done, you think they look good, then move on to the next piece of work that's been set. But if you need a bit more practice, keep going and let me see anything that you're not sure about and I'll mark it and send it back to you.